Hey there, Andrea Jones, registered nurse and functional hormone coach. In Understanding Hormones 101, in this video, we're going to be talking all about the 3 steps you need to actually balance your hormones, addressing root causes. Cannot even tell you how many times I've worked with somebody who has maybe worked with a naturopath or worked with a conventional medicine doctor and not seen the results that they were hoping for simply because they weren't addressing the root causes. So in today's training, we're going to be talking all about addressing the root causes in a systematic way that leads to long-term health of your hormones. So make sure to like, follow, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so let's talk about how we actually solve the problem, because now you know what your problem is. You know that what you have been trying has not been working. And so now we got to talk about how to actually do this. And so when I'm working with somebody specifically in the Hormone Wellness Academy, but just in general, there are 3 phases of healing that we have to address, and they go back to the 3 root causes. So if you remember the 3 root causes, you'll remember that we need to address the liver metabolism. So the poor liver metabolism of estrogen and toxins is number 1. And that's what we do in what I call the hormone flush. So how we do this is we use very specific nutrients that are targeting those 3 phases of liver detoxification. So I actually had somebody reach out to me today and say, hey, what do you think about DIM? I heard that it was great for estrogen detox, and that is true. However, it's only great for about one of the liver detoxification pathways. So if you take it and you're still having a lot of excess estrogen symptoms like breast tenderness, fatigue, cramping, heavy, painful periods, then more than likely it's one of the other 2 detox pathways that also needs to be addressed. So how we do this by using specific guided nutrition, meaning we are working with you to figure out the ratios and the amounts of specific foods that help to nourish the liver. So these are things like leafy green vegetables. They are things like herbs and spices that actually really are very supportive of the liver. So we are doing this so that your body can actually eliminate those excess estrogens and toxins in a very specific way that actually help you to see noticeable, significantly improved symptoms. So like I said at the very beginning, when we're working with somebody, almost immediately within that 3-week period of doing the hormone flush, where we're using lifestyle adjustments and applying those nutrients and working with you directly to figure out how much you need to support your particular symptoms, what we see is a significant reduction in fatigue. Like, I don't need to take a nap today, and I don't remember the last time I haven't needed to nap. Like, those are big deals, right? And again, that's because it's working on a cellular level to help regenerate your liver. So how many of you feel like you would benefit from knowing, yeah, somebody just tell me what to eat and how much of it to eat and how to know if it's actually working for me, and you feel like you'd finally start to see some results? I'm curious if having that mapped out for you would be helpful. Okay, getting lots of yeses. Awesome. So here's a cute little liver. I'll just zoom in here. Your liver is kind of tucked in there under your diaphragm, in the abdominal cavity. Okay. All right. This is one of my favorite case studies ever. Just an amazing story. So this woman, when she first started working with me, she actually had a diagnosis of fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, in addition to her terrible period. So I'm going to let her share just a little snippet of what happened to her as we address the gut-brain connection, the microbiome, her liver, which then helped her nervous system to heal. This is what happened afterwards.
I was older having my 3rd son, and so first I thought that's just what it is. I mean, I was 40 when I had him, so I just thought this is how it is when you're 40 and have a kid. But it just didn't seem right. But what was different is, like, I remember when I had my first 2, I could just get on the ground and play with them. I could do all those things, and with this little guy, I'm just like, I just can't. I'm just so tired, and so now I can play with them and I want to play with them, and I feel like because of that, like we have a great bond, but I feel like it's even better. And our relationship's even better. And even with my older boys, like I'm more patient with them. And I think that's a big thing that I noticed. I mean, I still, when things get crazy, I still snap at them and stuff like that. But I have control over things. And, I can be in the moment more, I think is the big thing for me, and enjoy my family I've said this to my husband before. I'm like, this is what I always imagined being a mom was going to be like, and so that joy and that excitement and enjoying your kids, even when they frustrate you. I didn't have that with my second son until much later. And now with all three of them, I can not only, like before I was enjoying it, but I was so tired I couldn't like be a part of it. I don't know if that makes sense, but so I think that's the big daily change for me, is that like I'm a part of my family again. Right. I can enjoy them and I can participate, and it's a really busy season right now for us, and I can do it. so that's huge for me.
I just love at the end how she said it's a busy season, but I can do it. And gosh, I can't even tell you like how many times in my hormone regulating journey I've felt that. Like I hate that feeling of feeling like I'm not showing up my best for my family. That's really, really important to me because I want to leave a legacy that my children remember me being present and fun. And when we're not feeling good and our hormones are out of whack, it's a problem. It's a really big problem. And so part of what I would consider my ministry, yes, it's my business, but it's also my ministry, is helping women to get back the life that they're meant to live. That's really, really important to me. So phase 2. So remember, the second root cause problem is a poor gut-brain connection. So this is where we begin really focusing on healing that gut-brain connection by doing the mood, energy, and libido regulating protocol. So this has a very strong impact on the nervous system, okay? There's no way to impact the gut without impacting the nervous system and vice versa. So what we do in this protocol is we begin by reducing inflammation to the gut by incorporating anti-inflammatory foods. And again, because we're working with you one-on-one in the Hormone Wellness Academy format or structure, that means that you have access to us every single day. So when I say us, I'm talking about myself and our in-house nutritionist that works with us to help you to identify, okay, if I incorporate these anti-inflammatory foods, what kind of response does my gut have? So if you think about a lot of people focus really heavily on introducing probiotics, and then they're like, yeah, but I only saw like I can't tell if it's working. I only saw about maybe 20% improvement. But if you think about the gut, the digestive tract, and inflammation like an obstacle to the beneficial bacteria having their impact, right? We have to remove the inflammation first. And one of the reasons why we start primarily with food is actually for a couple reasons. One, it is the most impactful long-term, far and above any other supplement. I know this because I've worked with a lot of women. I've also been my own guinea pig. Number 2, it is the most sustainable financially for the long term. I don't want you to be stuck paying $700, $500 in supplements every single month for the rest of your life just to manage your symptoms. That is not how supplements are supposed to work. When we begin to nourish our body, number 1, it's more affordable because we can access most of these things from a local grocery store. I have yet to hear anybody tell me that it has been outside of their family's budget, like their food budget, to get these things. And 2, I want you to be, or are we on 3? 2 or 3? I can't remember. I want you to be spending the bulk of your time and your money learning how to heal yourself. So that at the end of those 12 weeks, you're not feeling like you need me anymore. Like that's my goal. Okay, so phase 2. We're working on reducing inflammation through incorporating foods that support lowering inflammation, okay? And that's going to be very specific to you. Number 2, we begin incorporating bacteria that support healing the microbiome. And part of how we do this is actually by working with you individually. So if you're sitting here and you're like, just tell me what probiotic to take. Yes, there are some good foundational ones to start with, but you don't want to stay there forever. Your microbiome is meant to be diverse, which means that it's meant to be introduced to multiple different strains of bacteria over a long period of time. So not only are we introducing, probiotics through like a therapeutic probiotic, because most women need like some heavy hitters, but two, we're also introducing probiotic rich foods. So these are foods again um, that are going to help you to maximize the diversity of your gut, which helps to heal the microbiome, which then takes all of this pressure off the nervous system, right? So then the gut begins to actually communicate with your brain. It's like everything opens up, it wakes up. Literally, the nervous system and your neurotransmitters begin to wake up. And one of the things that wakes up when your gut is healthy and whole is your pituitary gland. And without getting like too fancy schmancy on all the words, the pituitary gland is actually what controls the release and the production of progesterone. So this is typically weeks 5 through 8 in the process. And usually within this phase, we see a rapid rate of healing. So we'll see anywhere from 50 to 75% reduction in symptoms or improvement in symptoms. I should have brought some of the Google Sheets on here so that you guys could actually see that in real time because it's pretty dang awesome. So how many of you feel like having that protocol laid out for you, like just knowing what to focus on, that was very budget friendly in a non-overwhelming way, especially as we head into the summer? How many of you feel like that would be beneficial for you? Hey, Samantha, good to see you on here. You probably know most of this stuff already because you heard me parrot it off to you when we were working together. Okay. Awesome. All right, so phase 3. Good, lots of yeses over there. Awesome. So phase 3. So this is actually where a lot of practitioners start with nourishing your hormones. And what do I mean by that? So this means like they're trying to correct the low progesterone by giving you progesterone. They're trying to correct the high estrogen by doing things that lower your estrogen, right? Through supplementation primarily. However, your supplements, this is like a frightening number. If you have not addressed the root causes of getting your liver nice and healthy and getting the gut-brain connection nice and healthy, you're only going to absorb something like 15 to 20% of whatever supplements you're taking, which means everything else is wasted. So this is why I don't start with supplementation right out of the gate for the majority of women. This is why we also leave the nourishing of your hormones to the very end of the process. And so when you think about nourishing your hormones through nutrients, I want you to think about your estrogen and your progesterone like buckets. And these buckets have to be filled. They have to be filled with the right nutrient information. They have to be filled with lowering a stress response by helping the nervous system. They have to be filled by getting quality sleep. All of these things fill that nutrient bucket so that as your body cycles through hormones throughout the month, it has that nutrient information to pull from. It's kind of like if I need to bake a loaf of gluten-free bread, I go to my pantry and I take a scoop out of my gluten-free flour and I go to make my bread because that's what I need at that time. But if I'm not filling that canister in my pantry, I'm not going to have what I need when I actually need to make it. Does that make sense to everybody so far? And you can see some real-time testimonials over here. We have hundreds of these, so I cannot possibly fit them all on one page. But in phase 3, what we are doing, if you think about phase 3, like tying up all of the loose ends, it's like putting the bow on the present, right? So this eliminates any lingering mood swings, low libido, or irregular cycles. This is like where all the symptoms are just, they go bye-bye, okay? And how we do this again is we're focusing on nutrients specific to regulating your hormone and estrogen, or sorry, your progesterone and estrogen production all month long. And this is also the phase where we're just kind of letting your body kind of find its own balance and then making modifications and tweaks as we need to. So really, there are two things that you need to be successful in learning about hormone resilience, in developing resilient hormones. You need to have a system that actually is built for you, meaning it's not built for men like keto and intermittent fasting are, right? It is built for you, that's been proven over time. The second thing that you need is actually support and accountability. I can do a lot of things myself. I love to figure out, I'm like the DIYer. I love to be independent. I love to figure things out myself. I love to problem solve myself. However, there comes a point where I need accountability for the things that I'm trying to grow and heal in. And so I would encourage you that that's what you need to. That is what I see every woman that I've ever worked with is just like, I just needed somebody to tell me what the heck to do. Like, just tell me what to focus on. Tell me what I should be, what I should be doing next now that my symptoms are changing. It's a really big deal. So, I'm going to share with you kind of a behind the scenes of what it looks like in the Hormone Wellness Academy, um, so that you have what you need to begin working through this stuff. Is everybody ready for that? I'm going to see if I can. Give me a second. If I can zoom. Let's see if this works. It's going to be a little wobbly. Sorry. Okay, you guys, so I wanted to show you really quickly what you have access to in the Hormone Wellness Academy through the app. So we actually have two different ways that you can work through this progress. The first is through the membership website, which you'll have access to both, so you can kind of feel around what works the best to you. And then we also have the Practice Better app. So this is literally, it's a free app that you can download on your phone and access it just, at the click of your fingers. It's amazing. You can also access it from your desktop. So the view that I'm showing you is going to be a little bit different layout than what you'll see on your phone, but you have access to everything that I talk about in here. So this is really where you get to access your protocols and support. So I'm just going to walk you through what that looks like. So when you log in, you'll see a notification for any forms that you need to complete. Namely, you'll get a notification about once a week to fill out your tracking form. So it should take less than a minute to fill that out. You just click in the little boxes, and that allows us to track your progress and see how you're doing so that we can give you one-on-one feedback for coaching calls. You're also welcome to send us a message or request a one-on-one session if that's something that you're wanting to upgrade to at some point. And then this is where you're going to access your protocols. So this is really where the magic happens. So we've laid it all out by week. So week 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason that we've laid it out that way is because we really want your body to adjust to healing, and we need to give the body time to begin implementing those strategies and action tasks. So what you're going to do is you're going to just click on the module that you're on for the week. You'll see the training video, any downloads that are available to you. Anytime we have an action task that includes, foods to incorporate for that week, you will see the company meal plans or recipes here. You do not have to follow that to a T. It's just there so that you don't have to think about if there's a certain food that maybe is not part of your normal everyday diet, like beets or cauliflower or something like that. You don't have to think about it. You can just grab the recipe. And that is the same for every single module. And then you'll just go through 1 week at a time. That way, when you log in, you can see exactly where you left off and where you need to keep moving forward. Let's see here, what was I going to say? You can check your progress here with that as well. And then the other aspect to this that I wanted to show you, and hopefully you guys can see. Okay, so I'm actually going to pause that part there because we have moved the community aspect, meaning the group coaching, the group communication between everybody that's in the Hormone Wellness Academy, the conversations between myself and you and the nutritionist, all of that's in Practice Better now. So it's literally just at your fingertips. It is so convenient and easy to use, okay? So what that means is no more guessing about how you're responding to each thing. I don't know about you, but I can't tell you how many times like I have tried a supplement and I've been like having some weird symptoms, but I can't tell if this is detox or like a bad reaction to it. And that's typically where a lot of women give up, right? They give up on their progress because they didn't know that maybe that was a healing reaction, right? Um, you also have access to Monday through Friday support for any questions or feedback about your progress. We have twice monthly group coaching calls. So that's where you can bring any questions that you have. Even if you're not able to be there live, you can submit your question beforehand, and we will answer it for you and just make sure that you have the support that you need. So as we're moving into the summer, I just want you to know that this is a very summer friendly plan, um, meaning that we all have weird schedules during the summer. I tend to like get really lax on my schedule and try to really not overdo things. I like to have the flexibility to take my kids to the park if they want to go to the park, go on a beach trip if they want to go on a beach trip. And so you need a plan that is that easy to implement over the summer, okay? And so what that looks like again is just one action task per week. That's all you're going to be focusing on. For the majority of women, it's less than 20 minutes of time implementing what we're teaching you, meaning 15 to 20 minutes for the training video that week, and then you just do